Last Wednesday, we hosted a community forum here in the sanctuary led by Greg Marley, Director of Suicide Prevention with the Maine chapter of the National Alliance for Mental Illness. At the end of his presentation, Greg invited me to say a few words about what the church can offer people as they process traumatic events. And at that moment, I realized that I often assume that people already know that information, but that assumption is not necessarily correct. So I want to be clear. As a pastor in this community, I offer anyone a supportive space to talk and process. You don't need to have ever stepped foot in First Parish before. You don't need to be a member. I listen, I hold space, I can handle big questions, doubt, anger, and sadness. I'm not a mental health professional, and if I think that you need one, I will help you find someone who is appropriate. I can't fix anything or make it hurt less, but I can accompany you on the journey. You are not alone. Reach out if you need support. One of the things Greg Marley mentioned in his presentation was how multiple losses increase risk. Sadly, with the pandemic still pressing on, we've all experienced multiple losses over the past 2 years. Combine that with the traumatic death of a 20-year-old in our community, a horrific school shooting in Texas, countless other incidences of gun violence in our country, and war raging abroad. It's a lot. Make sure you identify ways to care for your soul and to take a break. That might even mean turning off the news. This morning we continue with our sermon series, Love is the Way, based on a book by the same title, authored by the Bishop Michael Curry. We're going to watch a sermon that was prepared for a Lenten study by the Minnesota Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. And you'll hear a message from the Reverend Cynthia Williams. My hope is that by introducing other voices into our reflections, that Reverend Williams might be able to open up our theme in a way that I cannot. And while it might seem like what she addresses is small in comparison to what is happening in the world today, I do believe that small acts of love are what have the potential to transform our world. So as we begin worship, I invite you to take a deep breath. And to be with me in the spirit of prayer. Our opening prayer this morning is inspired by Psalm 77. I cry aloud to God, that God may hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. I think of God and I moan. I meditate and my spirit faints. You keep my eyelids from closing. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I consider the days of old and remember the years of long ago. I commune with my heart in the night. I meditate and search my spirit. Will the Lord spurn forever and never again be favorable? Has God's steadfast love ceased forever? Are God's promises at an end for all time? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has God in anger shut up his compassion? And I say, it is my grief that the right hand of the Most High has changed. I will call to mind the deeds of the Lord. I will remember your wonders of old. I will meditate on all your work and muse on your mighty deeds. Let us be the church at worship. Amen.